Hi there, this is Joanne from TrueAuthenticPower.com from Tapping.me, and I'm also the creator of the program Catapulting to Confidence. I wanted to do a little bit of tapping today because, people will talk about the Peter Pan syndrome and not wanting to grow up or the phrase of settling down or whatever. And I think there's a conflict there for a lot of us. I know there has been for me. I remember growing up and thinking adulthood looks like it really sucks. At least for the people that I was around, I didn't see a whole lot of living in joy and enjoying. I saw more, I wish I could be doing this instead, or people who were in positions, even teachers in schools, they were miserable. And I remember thinking, why would I want to grow up? This doesn't seem like any fun. And, if you're around that kind of environment growing up, you will take on a belief, a subconscious belief, a learned pattern of just watching over and over again. If you were around people who were unhappy or seemed like adulthood was miserable or unhappy, maybe not even to the extent of miserable, but unhappy, just not fulfilling, why would you want to go near there? The subconscious mind is designed to avoid pain, keep us out of trouble, keep us away from pain. And so if you're telling your mind and body, I have to grow up, I have to be responsible and accountable and function as an adult and all that kind of stuff, when it looks miserable or unhappy or less than fulfilling, even on the lower end, less than fulfilling. So I wanted to do some tapping today because I know there are aspects of this that still apply to me. I still feel like, why the heck? I mean, listen to the phrases about growing up or being in love, ball and chain, settle down. If you are a fun-loving person, does it sound nice to settle down? Or, ugh, it sounds awful to me. And maybe I'm not alone with that, so I thought I would do some tapping. So take a deep breath. I'm going to assume you know how to tap. I'm going to try something a little different today, too. With all of us who do tapping, whether we do it on video or audio, especially audio, because you're kind of leading someone who can't see you. When you're leading them through tapping, you might skip a point, you might call out a wrong point, and that's not going to harm or hurt anything if I mess up. But somebody had suggested to me maybe to just say shift. And I kind of like that because the shift word also means let's make a shift. So I might mess that up too in this audio, but just letting you know, if you don't know where the points are, you can go to my intro to tapping video and learn the points and take it from there. Or you can look at one of the diagrams that show you where the points are. So I'm going to give it a shot. We'll see how it goes. And as always, tune into your own energy. You are responsible for your own feelings and emotions. I'm just going to guide you through some possible tapping. If the words aren't quite what you need, then shift them, change them, say something that would be more appropriate in the space that I leave. Because I'm not there with you, I didn't experience what you experienced. You may have some other things that I'm not covering. So let's get on with getting on. Tune in to what adulthood feels like for you. What you'd like it to feel like. What you don't want it to feel like. Maybe what you're living that is unsatisfactory, unfulfilling, uneventful, boring. Any words that kind of apply, because I've heard a lot of them with dealing with a variety of clients at all ages. And take a deep breath, just kind of ease into that energy there. And maybe even write down some descriptors so that you can fill in the blanks when I'm asking you to describe. Now let's start tapping on the karate chop point on the side of the hand. And repeat after me. Even though I don't want to be a responsible adult, I don't want to be accountable or have to function in the way I see adults function. Regardless of my age, I may still be feeling this way. And I want to love, honor, and respect myself. Even though growing up, adulthood didn't look so appealing to me. And in my mind, I may have said, is that all there is? Is this what I have to look forward to? And I might have put up a disconnection, a rebellion, or just a feeling of, I don't want to go there. And I want to honor that energy and find a different way. Because I do love, honor, and respect myself. Even though there might be a part of me that says, I don't want to grow up. I don't want to be a responsible adult. I hate being accountable to what you think I should be. Or what I should do. Or how I should act. And there might be an unconscious rebellion going on inside of me, fighting against what I would want my adulthood to look like, no matter what my age is. And I want to love, honor, and respect my feelings and opinions. Even though I don't want to grow up. I don't want to be a responsible adult. It seems so boring. So many responsibilities. It looks and feels horrible. Why would I want to do that? Maybe there's a better way that would honor my feelings. And I want to love, honor, and respect all of my feelings. I'm just going to start at the eyebrow, and then we'll see how this shift goes. Eyebrow, I saw what adulthood looks like. Shift. And it didn't look appealing to me. Shift. And it still doesn't look appealing to me. Shift. Why would I want to do what they're doing? Shift. When they're miserable. Shift. That version of adulthood doesn't look fun to me. Shift. I don't want any part of that. Shift. I don't want that level of responsibility. Shift. It looks boring. Shift. It seems tiresome. Shift. All of that doesn't look appealing to me. Shift. I don't like being accountable to so many things. Shift. To so many people. Shift. I want my freedom. Shift. And adulthood doesn't look like it will give me freedom. Shift. All this anxiety and conflict. Shift. Why would I want any part of adulthood? Shift. What if I can do it differently? Now I want you to just take a deep breath. We're trying to dissolve some of the resistance, some of the attitude of, I don't want any of that. Don't get me near that. So we can kind of break apart that energy, soften it, and kind of dissolve some of that, resistance to it. And so now let's go back to the karate chop point. Even though I didn't like the way adulthood looked by what I saw, and I'd like a different version. So I need to be clear about what I would want. And I want to love, honor, and respect that version. Even though up till now, adulthood seems so boring. I have to be responsible or have fun. I have to be accountable or enjoy my life. I have to be functioning and it's so boring. What if, though, I could have the combination I want? And maybe I never considered that option before. And I want to love, honor, and respect. that there could be a different version I never considered that I'd like to create right now. Because I want to love, honor, and respect my life and how it would feel best for me. Now, starting at your eyebrow point, I don't want to be bored. Shift. And I don't want to be burdened with responsibilities. Shift. To be accountable means burdens. Shift. All this tension. Shift. All this fighting against. Shift. But what if I could create what I want? Shift. What if there is a different way? Shift. What if it could be fun? Shift. What if I could have an enjoyable adult experience? Shift. And what if it could be long-lasting? Shift. What if I could create the life I want by my desires? Shift. What if adulthood could be fun? Shift. The same kind of joy I might have experienced as a kid. Shift. Or even if I never experienced that kind of joy as a kid. Shift. I can get an idea of what I might want. Shift. By seeing other people having fun. Shift. And saying, yes, that's what I want. Shift. Connection and laughter. Shift. Enjoyment and fulfillment. Shift. Giggles and freedom. Shift. Connection and belonging. Shift. That's not possible. Shift. Maybe not by what I was modeled. Shift. But I can create a different reality. Shift. But can I? Shift. What would I want my adulthood to look like? Shift. When I say settle down, how does that feel to me? Shift. Does it feel lighthearted and comfortable? Shift. Or boring and miserable? Shift. Or any other way that my body is telling me it's heavy? Shift. I don't know how to do this new reality. Shift. But like any other skill, shift, maybe with a little practice and focus. Shift. I can actually create what I do want. Shift. A loving life full of fulfillment. Shift. A happy attitude that makes me look forward to each day. Now take a deep breath. And tune into what you're feeling, what you're thinking. Like I said, if you have different words, maybe your childhood was painful, or maybe you saw adulthood be painful in your childhood while watching in your childhood. Maybe you saw a different reality other than what I was describing or some words that I was using. So it might be a good idea for you to jot down some of those thoughts, remembrances, the things that you saw, heard, experienced, the looks on their face when they came home from work, doing what they did. If they were an entrepreneur, what did they look like? What did your mentors or people around you, what did they look like? Did they come home dragging? Did they come home jazzed and full of energy? Did they suffer? Were they excited about life? Did it seem like a burden? You know, depending on what you saw, you may be modeling right after that patterning unconsciously. So the first part of this was to kind of break that apart, saying, I don't want that. Why the heck would I want that? And then to start saying, this is what I saw, this isn't what I want. What if I could have this instead? So play around with this. You can tap along with it as many times to get more clarity, because tapping isn't necessarily a one and done. And you may listen to this at a different point in time other than right now. Maybe it's your first time listening to this. You may have a different experience as you unravel some of those things that are in your way. So, you can go back and use different audios many, many times and get a different experience or a different awakening or a different lifting off of burdens and difficulties and whatever. You get the idea of what I'm saying. I hope this was helpful. If you found it enjoyable, go back and listen many times. Share this with other people, because I don't think people understand. I don't think people who are not experienced with energy in the realm of the subconscious mind and the energetic influences that we get growing up, how invasive and pervasive they can become in our life when we're unaware of why does that keep playing out? Well, you kind of replayed it by watching it every day. And if that's not what you want your reality to be, you've got to do something to change it. And tapping works with the subconscious, not just the conscious thought where the change is not likely to happen. It moves the energy of the subconscious beliefs. I hope this helps. Share it with others if you know it can help them. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And along with subscribing, you may want to join my True Authentic Power Facebook page, only because I will forward things that are just plain fun, that are uplifting. Some things, it's not all about business. It's not all about subconscious beliefs, but a lot of it is, if you're watching joyful things, things that make you laugh, things that wake you up, things that educate you, things that can bring you joy and a different perspective on something that I may forward. A lot of times I'll say, I have one more thing to add, or I'd like you to think about it from this perspective. And it will start to help you understand in a different way what you might be seeing and viewing that might be kind of off balance or off kilter for what you're looking at, for what you're needing. So I hope this helps. And until our paths cross again, bye-bye for now.